You are listening to Girls Nerd Out podcast, covering all things fantasy, fandom, and funny. And here are Amanda and Chris.
Hey everyone, it's me, Amanda, and I am here with my Christopher.
Hello. Greetings and salutations to you from me and all my people.
And we are excited to talk to you about the next episode of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, and it's called The Squire. Every episode has been great. This is no exception. It starts off with a really, really nice scene of Dunk and Egg, and they're on a hill, and they're looking down at the tents and the people. And Egg says, "I could like it here," and Dunk says, "You're here," and Egg's like, "I mean, for a while." And then he talks about how he'd grow crops and what kind of animals he would raise and stuff. But for whatever reason, no sheep. He doesn't like sheep.
I think it's because he was riding in the back of that cart with a bunch of sheep.
Oh, yeah. Yep, there you go. That makes sense. It's just a really pretty scene. It's just a nice way to start it off. I really love the set that they built for this. It looks really good to me. You just have a lot of green and then the different colored tints and stuff. And like we said before, um, it's a lot more colorful than Game of Thrones for reasons.
Yes,
And
reasons.
reasons. I will say this. So Doug goes and gets some stuff to cook breakfast for them. He has some eggs and some bread. And I'm going to tell you that breakfast sandwich he made for them looked pretty good.
It looked really good.
It did. I was like, damn, dude, look at you. So it was made with like big goose eggs, some kind of meat, and some like really nice looking bread. I was like, oh. And a lot of people thought it was really cute. Did you notice he halved it, even though he's so much bigger than Egg?
Well, Egg's a growing boy. He needs all the help he can get.
Yeah, it was just really sweet.
But if I don't eat my egg sandwich, I'm not gonna get my nutrients.
Wow. I'm sure he ate the entire half of it because that thing looked good. The music is really nice too. I know we've said that, but it's more upbeat than a lot of the music we've had before. Again, reasons. And it's just really nice. It just goes together really well.
Yes.
So after that, Dunk is taking a nap. He's asleep, and Egg has a plan. And he goes and gets one of the horses, Thunder, and takes Thunder off to practice. And it is so sweet. So he's talking to Thunder, and he says, "My father told me you should never talk to a horse. He said they're dumber than dogs and only understand the crop." And Thunder shakes his head and like whinnies and kind of kicks. And Egg says, "But I don't think that's true. I think a horse doesn't want to be ordered about any more than a man does." And Thunder nods, like, yes, up and down. It was really cute. Great horse. So apparently Thunder's not just, a regular horse. This is somewhat of a trained stunt horse, which is really cool. And um so Egg is doing like little laps and saying, "Here you go, Sir Duncan." He's pretending to hand him the lance. So he's practicing. And he's also got Thunder practicing, like running back and forth. It takes him a minute because Thunder's like, "I really don't want to do this." But then he gets him going and like Egg's like cheering for him. And it's really cute. It's a really cute scene. I liked it.
Yes.
And then a guy shows up and he's only got one eye. So, I mean, it's Game of Thrones. If somebody shows up, he's by himself and he's got one eye. I mean, I would be leery.
Yeah.
So he asks Egg if he's stolen the horse. He kind of assumes he has. And he says, tell the truth and we'll be fair. So it's like, oh, wait a minute. You're speaking as we. So it kind of makes you, okay, like this dude's crazy because he's by himself. And Egg's like, it's not stealing if you mean to put it back. And he asks him, what's wrong with your hair? Because obviously Egg doesn't have any. And he goes, what's wrong with your eye?
Like at that point, like Egg's not very good at explaining the situation
No.
because it's like all he had to say was, "This is my knight's horse, and I'm practicing squiring." Like, how hard is that to say?
Yeah, well, he grew up in a castle. So he's doing the best he can. He gets there. But what's impressive is we see like a little flashback. It's Egg figuring out who he is. It's a dude losing his eye, an attorney and stuff. And that makes Egg recognize him. And he's like, you're Sir Robin Riesling, the maddest knight in the Seven Kingdoms. And he says, we are a vessel for the warrior. And he tells him he's small for a squire. And Egg says, I serve Sir Duncan the Tall. He's large enough for the both of us. So we get the idea that Sir Robin will probably be showing up again, and he's a bit nuts. He looks cool though.
Whenever Egg rides on Dunk's shoulders, they become Freak the Mighty.
Look at you.
Well, that's a callback. Haven't thought
Yeah.
about that in years.
No.
It was a good book. Good
Look at
movie.
look at you. Wow. Chris is just throwing the stuff out there, man. Dunk asked Egg if he ever knew his father. They're kind of just like walking around. And Egg says, no, not really. And it's not a full lie. He never just outright 100% really lies. He tries very hard to tell a half truth.
Yes.
Yeah. And Dunk just kind of talks about I probably saw mine hanged. Is I think what he said one of the places he used to go and get a bowl of brown at one of the pot shops, the lady told him that his dad was a thief, which I'm sure she probably told every kid that.
Could be.
Yeah.
They would sell rats and squirrels and stuff
Pigeon.
to the pot shops.
Mm-hmm. We saw Arya do that.
We saw Tyrion do that in the books.
Mm-hmm. Starving kids will, catch a bird, catch a rat, catch whatever, and go to what they call pot shops. And it's this giant pot of, what do they call it? It was
It's
actually
a
a thing.
it's a bowl of brown.
Yeah, it's a bowl of brown, but in history, I think it
I
has a name.
I forget what it's called, but it's like where it's constantly heated, so it's all
Yep.
good. And like as they dip more out of it to serve people, they just add more water, more ingredients, and just keep it going like nonstop. I'm
Perpetual
not,
stew.
yeah, I'm not entirely sure if that's what the bowl of brown is, but like they probably have a version of that or close enough. I don't know if they
Per-
keep it burning constantly.
well, perpetual stew would be like in somebody's house and it was just always going and then you threw whatever in there. And bowl of brown's like that, but it has more questionable items in it.
Like at one point, Tyrion puts a singer in it.
Singer stew.
Singer stew.
Yeah. So
Why do you call it singer stew? Because it's so good, it makes me want to sing. Huh?
mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
like that. I'm gonna ask for that next time I'm in King's Landing. Singer stew.
I heard a woman's hands are warm.
The hands of gold are always cold.
But a woman's hands are warm.
I love how afterwards Tyrion gets the song stuck in his head and he kind of
Yeah.
laments the fact that he had the guy like taken out before he could learn the rest of the song because he only
Yep.
can sing part of it.
Yep. What is it? Put a chain and a keep. God.
It was like he rode through the streets of the city down from his hill on high,
Hi.
or the winds and the stones and the cobbles. He rode to a woman's side, for
Yep.
she was his secret lover. She was his shame and his bliss. Or see, she was his secret treasure. She was his shame and his bliss, and a chain and a key for nothing compared to a
Compared to a
woman's
woman's
kiss.
kiss.
For
God, good
hands of
job.
gold are always cold, but a woman's
Women's
hands are
hands are
warm.
warm. Wonder what the rest of it is.
He'll chop you up and put you in a stew, and you won't know what else to do.
But a woman's hands are warm. He'll chop you up and put you in stew, hot as the hottest day in Dorne.
They'll
Or
put you in with onions and corn.
I like mine. Come on, man. Or how about like he'll have you chopped up and put in stew with some nice peppers from Dorne. Whatever. People are gonna think I'm talented. You're just funnier.
I was just
Uh
adding to it.
yeah, like perpetual stew.
Right,
Okay,
right.
so they're walking around and a woman offers to tell their fortunes and Chris and I both were like, hold on, wait a minute. This chick does not fit at all.
Like, I don't know. It literally just took some random woman, threw a hood on her, and was like, here you go. Like even the creepy lady from House the Dragon, when Rhaenyra, like in season one, when she sneaks out of the castle,
Yeah.
and it's like some creepy old lady in a hood. She's like, "Do you want to know your death, child?"
Yeah.
And then like they just move past her. Uh, that looked like someone that would be like creepy enough to like tell you your fortune with
Hmm.
like some kind of accuracy. This just seems like some just she's not even old.
I'll tell you what I immediately thought. She's got a hood on and she has like a lot, I think she has a lot of bracelets on or whatever, and it almost looks like I think she has it looks like runes maybe like on her fingers and like writing on her hands. She looks straight up out of the Last Kingdom. She looks like she belongs there. She looks like she belongs in maybe Vikings, more so
Maybe
the Last Kingdom. She looks very like the seer, and it's crazy because I'm like, man, that just really stood out to me that she just didn't look like she belonged in a
it
Song
just
of
seems
Ice and
so
Fire or anything
yeah, it
like
just
that.
seems so out of place.
Yeah.
And
Not
she
that she's
holds her
there, but the way she looks.
like she holds her cup out like because you're supposed to like throw in a copper or something for your fortune, and
Yeah.
then Duck doesn't pay her, and then she just gives the fortunes anyway and walks away. And it's like that whole thing was just weird.
It was. I understand why, but
Yeah, like
it's
I understand wanting to
strange.
put it in there, but they could have
Yeah.
done that like a whole lot better. That just it just seemed like that's one of the like the few times they have got something like really wrong in this show.
Yeah. Well, she tells Dunk, you shall know great success and be richer than a Lannister.
And I don't recall him being all that rich so far in the novellas.
No.
And based on what we know of him, like I still don't see a whole lot of money in his
No.
future. I mean, he has
No.
like a lot of fame, honor, prestige. He has a better station in life. Uh, all the stuff that comes along with that. But I wouldn't imagine he got a lot of money out of it.
Well, I feel like this is George prophecy. Richer than a Lannister. Maybe it's a specific Lannister.
Or it's, like I guess like not all wealth is silver and gold.
Mm-hmm. True. True.
Maybe he'll be emotionally richer than a Lannister.
Maybe.
He'll be metaphorically
Yeah.
richer than a Lannister.
Yeah. And for Egg, she says, you shall be king and die in a hot fire, and worms shall feed upon your ashes. And all who know you shall rejoice in your dying.
Which the whole like you shall be king part, like I think they probably should have cut that just to avoid like ruining
Yeah.
certain parts, like because it's supposed to be a big reveal later when people find out who he actually is, and like giving that out like just like that seems weird.
Yeah.
Like she should have just led into the, the hot fire part,
Right.
and all that.
Oh, Chris and I had a conversation about it when we watched the episode. And George and his prophecies, he likes to mess with your head about prophecy. It makes it a lot more interesting. Like virtually every prophecy that occurs, like he said it's not gonna go the way it's stated. I mean, like you can't trust it. That's like the whole Lightbringer, the flaming sword, and a lot of people think Drogon. I mean, because flaming, it's not a sword, it's a dragon, like things like that. And
Like that,
so,
I could see like a scene where somebody's like, "Hey, it's too dark out here. Did you bring the light?" And then like Drogon just breathes fire like
right,
onto like onto like a pit or something, and like it goes up, and then now they can see. It's like, okay, thanks.
yeah. I mean,
Or I don't mean not literally like that, but something in that
I mean,
in that
it
ballpark.
it literally could be something like, fight the army of the dead, and Daenerys actually has a sword, and she's about to do something, loses her sword, and then Drogon just takes the enemy out. Like, oh well, he's really her sword, so she doesn't really need it. Like, it could be a million different things.
Yeah,
So the whole thing, all who know you shall rejoice in your dying. I asked Chris, I was like, look, and again, if you don't like spoilers, like I don't know why you're listening to us because we read this a long time ago. But so something not very pleasant happens to Egg, and I asked Chris, I was like, look, what if he doesn't die on the spot? What if he lingers in pain? And then when he finally does die, they rejoice because he's out of pain.
that very well could be a thing. I don't think I've ever heard of that before until you mentioned it.
I just thought of it because I was trying to think, like, why would somebody be glad he was dead if he stays the way he is now, if he stays good? Well, hell, if he's, you know, 75% burnt and hanging on by a thread, people are going to be relieved when he dies because they don't want him to hurt. So,
I mean, there's a theory. Well, there's a chance they could go that way because there's a theory that like in one of the Dunk and Egg novellas, I don't remember which one. Like they're going to Dorne, or Dunk has a dream that they're going to Dorne, and they end up getting buried alive in the sand or
yeah.
something. And people are thinking that was like not a prophetic dream or anything, but like that's George's way of sprinkling and foreshadowing that
Hmm.
that probably happens at Summerhall, because in the uh, where the pyromancers work on the wildfire, like the cells they're operating in are designed that if the flames go up to the point where they can burn the ceilings are designed to collapse and just smother the flames with sand, because that's the only way to put it out, is to either starve it of fuel or just completely smother it.
Hmm.
And there's uh, a theory that they rigged something like that up, and he was using wildfire to potentially hatch the dragon eggs. And when it got out of control, like if it went up too fast, it could have burned him pretty quickly, and then he was smothered in sand. And Dunk had to kind of like pull him out or something. So like it
Yeah.
could have been a situation to where if it had been like a few seconds longer, like it would have just completely like incinerated him. But because the sand fell quick enough, he got
Hmm.
buried, or
Hmm.
he and Dunk both got buried. Something to that effect, maybe.
And like it's the same wildfire um for the Battle of Blackwater in Game of Thrones. That stuff. Nasty stuff.
Pyromancer's piss.
Hmm. So That's a bit of a dark moment.
There's also another theory that when this didn't happen in the show, but in the books, John's worried that the Stannis is going to sacrifice Mance Rayder's son because he has King's blood. Because like he overhears something along the lines of some of Stannis's guards talking about it, and they said they should burn them both together because when the father goes first, technically speaking, the son will be king, and when they both go together like that, they'll both have King's blood because they'll both technically be king, and that might make the sacrificial ritual more powerful or something. And so John switches the babies or whatever, and either John or Sam one are talking to Maester Aemon about that, and they're like, "Would Stannis really do that?" And Maester Aemon just point blank tells them, "Better men than Stannis have done worse." And that could just be a throwaway line. That's like if you study history, like you'll see that's kind of accurate
Yeah.
in a broad sense. But some fans were speculating: was he talking about Egg? Does he know what Egg was up to when he was trying to hatch the dragon eggs? To the point where, like, was he trying to sacrifice his own family, or Rhaegar's, pregnant mother at the time? Was he trying to sacrifice both of them in a similar ritual to hatch the dragon eggs? Like, great, his intentions were noble because he wanted the dragons back, so he'd have leverage to make the High Lords. It's the whole, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few kind of situation, where the
Well, I mean,
ends justify the means. Like, could it have been that?
I mean,
And then all his family kind of saw that were there, saw what he was doing. And
yeah.
then when he ended and like he was no longer able to pursue that, you know, they rejoiced. Could it have been that?
Yeah.
Or could it have simply been uh no, he wasn't trying anything like that. That's why we had the wildfire and blah blah blah. Like he wasn't trying to, do anything crazy like sacrificing people or anything like that. But the High Lords rejoiced because now his reforms that he's trying to push through, like the next king isn't going to pursue that.
Yeah.
So could it have
Because,
been that? Or it could be all who know him, not necessarily know of him, but know him. Like the only people that really truly like know you are like your inner circle. Everyone else just knows you in passing, or knows you at court, or knows you here or there, but they don't really know you. Is it like that version of knowing? Anyone that knows you on a personal level shall rejoice. And at that point, is it they're rejoicing because you went crazy? They feel you went crazy at the end, and they're glad you're gone, or is it like you said, all they actually truly know him didn't want him to linger in pain?
I mean, you know me, I always try to go for like the hopeful part, which I mean, like him lingering in pain is not hopeful, but that means, you know, there was like a mishap. He wasn't necessarily trying to sacrifice his family, maybe. Um, I mean,
I couldn't see him doing that just based on what we know about him.
yeah,
But we know him as a little kid. Like we
true,
don't know him as an adult.
true.
And people kind of change a little bit. It doesn't seem like he did from like what all we know about him. But what we know is from like a almost like a history book kind of top
Hmm.
down. Like, we don't really get any point of view chapters or anything from people right by his side during his reign, or even in his own mind. We don't get him as a viewpoint character. So like we can't truly understand like what else going on. All we have is like vague people looking at a distance from the outside.
Yeah. And hell, I mean, what do we know? And most of what we know, like tied to what his kids do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also there's the thing where it, it doesn't seem in character for him to do this, but at the same time, if George wrote it to where he was trying to sacrifice people at the end to get the dragons back, blah blah blah, all that, that would be a very George thing to write.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean,
I could see it going either way.
I've said it over and over again. There's no way in hell you're gonna keep the slave trade abolished in Essos without dragons. It's not happening.
No.
It's just not. I mean, like, if you've got something if you want to break the wheel, I said it, say wheel, been going for centuries. It's going to take something big. So if you've got Egg and he wants to do reform and he actually wants to help the small folk, that that's going to take something big. And maybe that's it. Maybe that's why he's doing it. But the whole thing is like, does he just have some eggs and wildfire, or is he trying to do some blood ritual with it? That's the thing.
Because, well, we don't know what the Targaryens know in terms of prophecy. We get little bits and pieces of what they know, and there's the whole fire and blood thing. It's not just arbitrary words they chose as their house words.
Yeah.
Like it has meaning from old Valyria.
Mm-hmm.
But because King's blood was necessary, he could have cut his hand or something and been trying to use his own blood because he was king. Could have been that simple. Because it doesn't say you need a life. It says you need King's blood.
Mm-hmm.
Now the implication could be like you need a lot of it, so someone would have to go. It could have been like, if you know what the words actually mean, you'd know that's what you need. But if you're taking them literally as they're written down, centuries and centuries later, translated into different languages, you're like, oh, well, here's some King's blood then. It doesn't specify the amount. Well, it's not like 2 cups,
right.
Two cups of blood. Like the wildfire needs to be at least 98 degrees. Cook for an hour and a half. Let it simmer. You get dragons.
Well, and we also don't know everyone that was around Egg at that time. Like, I mean,
there's a theory that it didn't go wrong, that there was like an assassination attempt or something.
Well, I mean, there's always the possibility of a faceless man.
Or the pyromancers were like paid off, or the maesters were paid. Like there was a maester there that was like, we can't allow this. We can't allow this. Like, what can I do? And like, he I don't know, slipped something where it's not supposed to be, or he's pouring the wildfire and he bumps into the pyromancer as he's pouring, so that instead of having a careful measured amount, too much spills.
I fully believe that the maesters, they are taught, at least at some point, and maybe not all, but they are trying to remove any power they can from the Targaryens, and they damn sure don't want dragons back.
No, they don't.
So they don't like magic. It's unpredictable. So that's Summer Hall, though, just in case you don't know. Donk is hanging out with Raymond Fossaway. He's the nice one. And he is asking him about Arian. So Arian does a joust. You just know he's going to do something jacked up. You can already tell. And Baylor's up watching. And Arian does this joust, and the lance goes through the opponent's horse's neck. And it's obviously not an accident. It's awful. Dude gets his leg crushed, and the horse, they have to go and kill the horse because it's just a mess. And Dunk's having a really hard time with it because it looked really obvious that he did it on purpose, which doesn't make sense to Dunk.
He just automatically assumes it was an accident.
Yeah. And Egg is like, that wasn't an accident. And it bothers Dunk real bad. To the point where he actually asked Raven Fossaway. He's like, Egg thinks that was on purpose. Do you think it was? And Raymond is actually surprised Dunk has any doubt at all, and kind of goes into quite a bit of a I hate Targaryen rant. He called them incestuous heathens and invaders that plundered the Seven Kingdoms and made a mockery of their traditions. Uh, thing is, like, I'm like, oh, damn, Raymond. I mean, come on. They're not all bad. Well, then, of course, obviously, something happens right then. All right, so Arian's an asshole. I mean, I've said that. I think I said it last episode. He goes in to watch the puppet show, and it's a really, really damn cool puppet. It's a dragon puppet. Egg's watching it too. Well, it's a story of a knight and a dragon, and the knight slays the dragon.
Which, like, he says is treason, which I could, definitely understand, like, anyone making that argument. Even if you don't truly believe it, you just like, you're like, well, the dragon should live, and that's the sigil of my house, and blah blah blah. So I'm just going to use this as an excuse to mess with these people. Like, even if that's all it is, like, you could still have a convincing argument if presenting it to, like, a bunch of nobles. Like, say they had like a note, like a court or something, and like a bunch of random nobles were to sit on a jury or whatever. Like, you could make a convincing argument of that.
Yeah,
But this particular story, I believe, is older than House Targaryen,
it's
because,
old.
like, from like the Age of Legends, or the Age of Heroes, or the
Mm,
Dawn Age, or whatever, they have stories of dragons in Westeros predating the Targaryens by a long time, where a knight slayed, or some guy slayed a dragon here or there,
hmm
which could be true. Like, because if dragons were like all over the place, like, it probably wouldn't be that far fetched for one or two to end up
mm.
in Westeros at some point.
Uh,
Or it could just been simply as, like, people heard stories about dragons in the East, and then somebody just makes up a story about one being in Westeros. Like, it never actually happened, but the story's been around there for a long time.
Right.
I do believe uh, that was the story they were telling.
hmm
One of those legends.
Is are they tell? Is that the story of what is it? Doesn't he like hide behind a shield or something, and the dragon doesn't see him or something? God, I almost remember that.
I
Can't.
forget. Was it Serwyn of the Mirror Shield?
Yeah, yeah,
Maybe. I don't remember his story. I just remember he had a mirror shield.
yeah. Might have been that, but anyway. So it's old story, really cool dragon puppet. Here's the thing. So Arian is pissed off because the knight slays the dragon, and he's like, the dragon never loses, and freaks out. Okay, so PR, I bring it up a lot. Medieval times, which this is based on, there's just, magic. How do you do PR? You could do what Marjorie did and make sure people see you, helping orphans and stuff. And then how she takes Joffrey out and waves at all the people. That's good PR.
Yes.
But, only the people that are standing there see it.
Let people
Um,
talk.
yeah. So that's very it's good. Then they used to do little like pamphlets and stuff. It's like little gossip, little like things they would hand out or whatever. But the thing with that is like you have to make them and then those people have to be able to read.
Yeah, so, like,
Well,
I don't think Westeros has that too much.
no. That would only be something circulated by probably Highborn.
Like,
And
they might have a network like that
yeah,
for septums. I'm sure some of them could read,
yeah,
because it's like a prerequisite. They have to read the 7-pointed star, I'm
yeah.
sure.
But
And then the maesters, because maesters aren't just something the High Lords have. I think a town will have a maester or something
yeah,
that's just for like a local village or whatever. So they could
you could
circulate stuff
send,
like that and have
yeah,
them kind of, let the populace know this, or that. I'm sure they
right.
have some kind of, like, low
Yes.
grade network of that.
But what is a really, really damn effective way of doing PR? A mummers show, puppets.
Yes.
Why?
Or
Because
having a singer.
yes, but like with the puppet show, it's it travels around and all different types of people watch it, and you don't have to be able to read to get the point.
Yes.
Same with a singer. So, which God, that just makes me think of Tom of Seven Strings.
Yes.
I think that's my favorite singer. In the
You don't
floppy
like Meridian?
fish.
You don't like Meridian?
No, I am not fond of Reddit. He creeps on Sansa. He's a I mean, he is a bad damn death. I'll tell you that. But nah, he's not my favorite. I like Tom. Tom's an asshole.
Tom is an asshole.
Yeah, Tom's the best, and JB likes it. Hell,
Yeah.
so yeah, that's my favorite. But you are right. So if you really wanted to get some PR going, get some singers, get yourself some mummers, and send them
And get yourself
around.
a bowl of brown and
Hell yeah.
settle down for some singer stew.
Right.
There's a
So,
scene in the books that's similar to this, where Qyburn brings Cersei news of a play that's going on that he feels she should be aware of. And she's like, well, what is it? He's like, it's a group of haughty lions that uh, kill like a stag that's king and they become king and they're ruling. And anytime someone speaks out against them, they eat them. And Cersei's kind of amused by that. And she's like, well, is that how it ends? Because that actually might be a very good lesson for the small folk to learn, that when the lions take over, you don't mess with them unless you want to get eaten. Is that how it ends? And she's like, and Qyburn's like, not quite.
mm,
Like one of them hatches a dragon, and the dragon, kills all the lions. And she's like, okay, that goes from borderline insolence to outright treason. I want names of every single person that attends this. And
mhm,
she, I think, debates like removing the hands of the people that were in the show.
mhm. Well, and I mean, hell, Tywin did some pretty epic PR himself with a song.
So much so that there was a time when another house seemed to rebel against him after the Tarbecks and the reigns of Castamere, and instead of sending an envoy, he just sent a bard, and they folded pretty quickly.
Another reason I like Tom. JB's like, you know the song. He doesn't even say it.
What about the rain? Sure, I know it.
I mean, I don't know.
And Edmure's like, no, no,
Yep,
not that song. No,
yep.
no, you wouldn't.
Scares the hell out of
Why?
people.
It's just a song.
Yeah, not really. It's great though. That's some damn good PR. So, all right, I get it. You see the dragon slain, you're a Targaryen. And it's like I told Chris, like, okay, if there was some play about a dragon getting slain and we're talking about like the time period where Daenerys is trying to rule, yeah, hell yeah, I would expect her to don't get rid of the damn puppet and tell them never again. Because you don't want to look weak on any level. It gets shit started. But there's nothing like that going on right now. Like, I asked
Or
Chris, I asked him if he thought, like, do you even think they realize that they shouldn't be telling a story like that? And Chris made a good point. Like, they probably didn't even know the Targaryens would be there.
because it's like a random tourney in Ashford. Like, it's not like it was held at like at Casterly Rock or
Yeah.
even Harrenhal or, like, well, anywhere major. Like, it's not like it was held outside of King's Landing. Uh, so like they probably didn't expect, the Targaryens to show up to some like, random
Yeah.
backwater little town. Which, I mean, Ashford's probably not that little and everything, but it's not one of the big ones.
Right. I mean, it's not one of the great houses. And then, you know, that dragon puppet looks pretty cool, so that's probably like That's their big show.
But if someone was doing that under Daenerys's reign, I could see her ignoring them and just putting on a bigger, better play that shows dragons in a more like freeing slaves, for example, uh, and just spending a lot of money on that and like putting it up in like big areas and be like, hey, it's free to come if you want to see the show.
True. Or maybe talking to him.
Or
You never know.
possibly that, or sending someone there being like, hey, it's
Hey.
not that good of an idea.
Yeah, but
But then again, it is Game of Thrones. Like if George wrote to where like she did something like horrible to him, whatever, I could see that happening if it was coming from George, because
true.
he knows exactly what she would and wouldn't do.
Yeah, because
So like whatever he says, I would completely trust.
yeah. But if it's mummers and they're just trying to make money, like Daenerys knows that it's not like mummers are rich. So I could definitely see her saying, okay, yeah. So the knight slays the dragon. Here's the thing. That doesn't look really good for me. How about this? How about the dragon eats the knight? I think that'd be really good. But except like, it being a knight, let's make it a lion. Have a nice day. I don't know.
Or she'd probably be a little concerned that it's not just an innocent puppet show. At that point, it's propaganda by
Yep.
the Sons of the Harpy because they're having to deal with that at that point.
Yep.
So she'd probably have like all the people there also investigated to see who they talk to, where they go.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they have connections. Maybe that'll be a lead.
Yep. But then you get the play of the dragon that ate the lion. So then there's that.
Or the dragon that ate the harpy.
Yeah. And the lion. For lion.
Yeah, for lion.
Mm-hmm. Arion is not happy. He's pissed. So Egg runs to find Dunk and he's like, he's hurting her. He's hurting her. You go back and he's breaking Tanzel's fingers. And Dunk just, like, you want to talk about good acting. You hear those stories or you think about a time like it's like I just saw red. I blacked out. You can see that happen to him. This guy's a very good actor. He goes to chill to kill, basically. Punches Arian, kicks him, and it's like, ah, oh, damn. Like it's brave, it's knightly, it's chivalrous, but it stresses you out. Obviously he's very quickly restrained. And bloodied Arian stands up. He spits blood. He goes up to him and he says, why did you just throw your life away for this whore? She's scarcely worth it. She's a traitor. The dragon will never lose. And Dunk's just like staring at him. And he says, you've loosened one of my teeth. So we'll start by breaking all of yours. And the guards are like driving him to the ground and opening his mouth. And then you hear, no, don't hurt him. It's Egg. And then Dunk's worried for him. He's telling him, you stupid boy, hold your tongue. They'll hurt you. And Egg says, no, they won't. If they do, they'll answer to my father. And he commands the guards to let him go. And he knows the guards by name. Arian looks at him and says, you impudent little rat, what's happened to your hair? I cut it off, brother. I didn't want to look like you. And all the people that had no idea and hadn't figured it out were like, oh my God, he's a Targaryen.
I didn't like that line. Uh, Granted, I know like you need to put something like in there so the audience knows, but they could have saved that for the next episode. I think it would be it'd make more sense or just sound better if he just said, what happened to your hair? He's like, I cut it off. I didn't want to look like you. That implies, okay, they know each other.
Yeah.
Or have,
or I know who you are and I don't like you.
or have Arion say something like, oh, there's my little brother.
Mm-hmm.
You little rat. Like,
Yeah.
where have you been? Where have you been? Or it could have been like, father's been worried sick looking for you. I can't imagine why. I was hoping I was finally rid of you. Or you throw something in like that. And like, but like the way Egg said that line, brother, I didn't want to look like you. It just
Yeah.
seemed too like they're trying to ham fist it. This is who he is. This is how they're connected. Like, you don't always have to hold the audience's hand, or if you're gonna do it, like, you could do it in a little better way.
Yeah.
I just didn't like that part.
I'll say this, the acting was great and he delivered the line really well. He did. Like, because he looks at him just disgusted. I don't
Yeah,
want to
it's like,
look like you.
kid's a very good actor.
Yeah.
That kid's
Uh,
going places.
he is. They all are. Damn, they're great. Hell, we even get a little bit of old Lionel in this episode. People were real tickled. He's still partying in his tent. He's shirtless this time, which everyone was very happy about that. He is a fan favorite,
Yes,
very
everyone loves
much.
him.
Oh, they love him. And we also get old likes to spit. Well, I don't even know what that dude's name is.
I, I,
Loogie.
fuck yeah, his name's Loogie.
So Loogie, before all this happens with the puppet show, Loogie takes Dunk off and does do you know what it made me think of?
What?
Made me think of Pulp Fiction. When he's Marcellus Wallace is talking to I can't think of his name in the
Butch?
movie. Yeah, Butch. Telling him when he wants him to fall, and he's like, "You might feel a sting as pride. Fuck pride." It made me think of that because Lukey he's not telling Dunk he wants him to fall. Lord Ashford apparently spent a lot of money on his daughter's upcoming wedding and this tourney and all this stuff. And Loogie wants Dunk to beat one of Ashford's sons. I would assume because they're all going to bet on it.
Yeah.
Which you made a good point. Like you wouldn't really have to tell him that because Dunk's just going to do that anyway.
Because if you're gonna have like like a boxing match or like a jousting match or something, some kind of match to where you're gonna bet on one particular person winning and the other one losing, and you've already talked to the one guy and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'll take a dive." That's all you need because the other guy's gonna go out swinging, he's gonna do everything he can to win. He doesn't even need to know the other guy's taking a dive.
Right.
So why did they approach Dunk for that? Because he even points out, he's like, "You're just doing what you were gonna do anyway." And it's like, then why did he need to know? That just seemed weird.
Uh,
And I don't think this was in the novella, that whole thing. Like, I could be wrong. It's been a long time since I read it, but I don't recall that being in there.
the only thing I can think of it would be if he would say, "Hey, we want you to unhorse him, but don't hurt him." That would be the only thing. But he doesn't say that, you know?
Well, I mean, like, that's supposed to be the implication anyway. Like, you're going to unhorse the other. You're not setting out to hurt.
Yeah.
But if
But
they don't
Dunk
know
is so
Dunk,
damn big.
well, that's the
Yeah.
thing though. Like, if they don't know Dunk, like, I mean, like, he just showed up and no one knows who he is. No one knows
Yeah.
who the guy he was squiring for was. So like that would make sense for them to be like, look, don't hurt him.
Yeah.
But they didn't even throw that out there.
No. Which that would have made sense.
That would have made sense.
Yeah. So
And
we
then
have that.
but what's weird is I don't think because like after the trial by seven or whatever, like once all that's over, I don't think like we get to follow Dunk in the rest of the jousting matches or anything like that. So
Mm-mm.
like that little addition seems kind of pointless. I mean, it kind of helps hammer home Dunk's integrity,
Yeah.
but if that was the case, then it's ultimately not going to go anywhere. It would make more sense for them to try to talk him into taking a dive.
Yeah.
Because like, okay, you're losing, but he won't ultimately take your shield or your armor, and you'll make a little hefty sum for taking the
Mm-hmm.
dive. Like that would have made way more sense than,
Because it
hey,
would
do
have
what you
been
were already going to do.
impressive. Yeah. So, like, because if one of Lord Ashford's sons on horses like this giant dude. I mean, it's way more impressive. So there must be something coming up that we don't know.
Like maybe they're gonna, maybe the show's gonna show a little bit of the, like, after this happens, the tourney might keep going for a little bit, and we see a little bit
Maybe.
of Dunk, like, competing in it or something.
I don't know. There's
Uh,
something there.
it's but so far the only thing I could see them trying to accomplish with that was to show Dunk has integrity, which we kind of already got that idea. Like like, I mean, it's not like we needed that, because otherwise we wouldn't
Yeah.
know. Like, he seems very honest, very humble. Like, we get that every scene he's in. He's awkward as hell, and yes, he's a little slow sometimes, but like, we that point was already hammered home.
So, where you're in school and there's those little songs that give kids the chance to curse without cursing.
Yes.
You want to say the one you know?
There was the Miss Mary had a steamboat. I don't remember all the words to it, but the one I'm familiar with was something like, Miss Landers was a health nut. She cooked food in a wok. Mr. Harris was her boyfriend. He had a great big cock-a-doodle-doodle. The rooster just won't quit. And I don't want my breakfast because it tastes like Shih Tzus make good house pets. They're cuddly and sweet. Monkeys aren't good to have because they like to beat their meeting in the office, a meeting in the hall. The bossy wants to see you so you could suck his ballsack was a writer. He lived with Al in front. Mrs. Roberts didn't like him because that's because she's a contaminated water, can really make you sick. Your bladder gets infected and blood comes out. You dictate what I'm saying because it will bring you luck. And if you do not like it, I don't give a flying fuck.
So I'm pretty sure everybody remembers that type of song. Well, Egg has one, and it's Prince Baylor was the firstborn, Prince Makar sprang out last. Damon was the bastard, so they kicked his bastard. Grass is green in summer, green grass I adore, but grass is red all over when you kill a rebel. Horses die in battle. This battle was the front. Blackfire's not a true board. He came from the wrong country, was in peril. The anvil was a rock. The hammer smashed the bastard with his giant veiny, and then he kind of trails off. So everybody really, really loved that. It was funny. It was very funny. And it's also passing along a little knowledge.
Yes.
It show only people they're not going to know much about House Blackfire at all. It's kind of a cute way, but I don't know how much they'll understand from that though.
Show watchers will understand, not from that necessarily. Like, I don't think, uh, because, like, if you're just a casual watcher and you've only seen the show,
Mm-hmm.
and like whenever they do stuff like that to sprinkle in a song, it's not going to register what the song's about because you have nothing to compare it to. Like
Not
it'd be
unless you look
different.
it up.
Like, it would be like if you heard a song from Lord of the Rings about, like, Frodo taking the ring to Mount Doom or something, but it was like, like phrased like in like a more of a sing-songy way. You
Yeah.
wouldn't really know. But if you watch the movie and then they sing that song at the end, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I know exactly what
Yeah.
they're talking about. I remember that part. I know that part. So you're going to connect more with it. Otherwise, it's just going to seem like someone's just singing words.
Kind of like Jenny of Oldstones in Game of Thrones. People thought it was a really pretty song, but they had no idea what it was about.
Somebody, like, I saw some people theorizing it was like, here's the funny thing, like, people were theorizing about it, but they haven't read the books. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, it's a little funny watching show only people try to make theories
Mm-hmm.
about stuff that, like, we already have answers to in the books. But there was a
Yeah.
theory that it was about a secret Targaryen, and then John, like,
Oh,
had something to do with John. I mean, the song wasn't about John,
yeah.
but the song was something about a secret Targaryen, and then, like, they're like, that makes sense because John's doing this or that in the episode, and blah blah blah. And they tied it into that, and they're like, oh, that's so great, that's so cool. And everybody's like, that literally has nothing to do with that.
Nope. Nope. It does not.
Because when you get show only fans making theories, I mean, granted, like, if the show introduces new concepts or something
Yeah.
that's not in the books, like, we all kind of theorize about it because it's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, well, I don't know where they're going with this because this was not in the books. But Like, but typically when you get show only fans making theories, it's like, was Viserys the White Walker that we saw with Sam at
Oh
the end of
God.
season 2? Is Daemon the Night King?
Look, I showed you that yesterday? I showed you a post that said that Damon was the damn Night King. That's still going around.
Yeah, like people still like, and like I think a big part of that is like people that do like brain rot posts just for clicks.
Yeah.
That like either they haven't watched the show and they're like they decide to like make a little post or something, or people are just trying to rage bait for like
Yeah.
clicks and views and comments because they know people will come in. Actually, that's not true, and then other people will come in and argue in the comment, and it just
Yep.
makes their post, kind of
Algorithm.
go. Yeah, it just so like you get some of that from people, but there are some people that are legitimately will see stuff like that because they're not that familiar with the source material and probably not that familiar with the show, would just be like, oh yeah, that's a thing, I saw that. Like, because like you're not supposed to believe everything you read on the internet, but a lot of people just do.
I mean, not that it's like incredibly important, but when they're in the Baratheon tent, I mean, they spent a good while talking about this. Lionel singing a song about a girl. I think she's missing a thumb and another finger. Apparently, she was really good at sticking her hand up dudes' asses. Like, I'm not making this up.
Like, and I don't believe that's a song from the books. I don't recall
Nah.
ever hearing that. Like, as like we've heard Jenny of Old Stones, The Bear and the
Hmm.
Maiden Fair.
This is
I
Alice.
Yeah, I don't remember that ever being a song in the books,
Mm.
but I think it's a really lovely addition. Uh,
Do you?
yes,
Okay.
you know, and
Hmm.
I really liked how Dunk and Egg are sitting there like trying to be philosophical about the
Hmm.
meaning of the song,
Hmm.
because that reminds me of like a lot of dumb conversations I would have about stuff like that, where like I ask like questions about this or that, and then like one of your friends or a couple of your friends would actually start like making points, and you're actually having like a deep discussion over something that's really stupid.
Well, I mean, because Egg is like, do you think her name was really Alice? Do you think she really existed? And like, he's like, Dunk's like, yeah. I mean, there's probably, yeah. I mean, Alice is a common name. They could have changed her name. And then like, Egg is sitting there the whole time going, you know what? I believe this was a misfortune girl making the most of her natural gifts. Like he's so like hopeful about it. And it's
Yes,
literally a song about a chick that was good at sticking her hand up dudes' asses. Like,
I can definitely relate to them like talk. Except the only thing is, like if I was doing that with my friends, we would not be serious, but we would try to keep the conversation as deadly serious as possible,
yeah,
just to be funny. But whereas Egg seems to be legitimately being philosophical about it.
yeah.
And Dunk probably doesn't seem like that deep of a thinker, so he just kind of goes along with it too. Like, yeah, yeah, I've never thought of it that way, because he's more of an innocent than Egg even is about a lot of things. So he
Hmm.
just kind of like, oh, yeah, could be about that, yeah. And the reality is, like, there probably wasn't a girl named Alice. Like, not every song is based on a true story. Sometimes, like, you just need like a really funny song because, like, you know, those play well to crowds.
Yeah.
Like to take it back to Tom O'Sevens, I think Jamie mentions to him, he's like, "Do you know any body boardy a boardy song?
Oh,
How do you pronounce that?
body. I think it's
Body?
body.
Yeah,
Body. Yes.
yeah. Like he's
A
like, do you know any
body
body songs?
tail.
He's like,
Yeah.
I know. He's like, I know every body song from the Wall to Dorne, and
Yeah.
some I've even made up myself. And Jimmy's like, good. He's like, because uh he's like, because like my uncle or whatever he is, the Frey in charge. I can't remember his name. He's like, he might be in charge, but my aunt's the one that rules.
Oh,
appease her.
that's I've got my piece of paper, Frey.
Yeah, I cannot remember his name. But
No, but
like,
I can't remember names, so it's like there's migraine Frey, and this is
yeah,
I have my piece of paper Frey.
yeah, this is the Prey with papers.
This
Uh,
this is my paper. I've got it right here.
what's his aunt's name?
Oh shit.
It's not Joanna, Jenna.
It's yeah, it's Jenna, isn't it?
I don't think it's Jenna.
Hold on.
It's something like that. Gina. I don't. Anyway, like he says, like she's the one that's going to be in charge of everything. He's got the
It's
titles and
Genna, Jenna.
Jenna. Okay, maybe it is Jenna.
Yeah.
Uh, he says like he's got the papers and the status and all that, and technically River runs his, but she's the one that makes all the decisions. She's the one that rules things. Like appease her, and you could probably stay here all winter and earn your keep. But she's the one you're going to need to sing those songs for. And sometimes, like I mean, that's how singers are. Like you need some place to stay for the winter or wherever for a certain amount of time. Like you got to make up funny songs. Like a lot of people like the funny ones, so that's probably all that was.
Emmon Frey.
Emmon Frey.
Also known as I have my paper Frey.
Like Emmon Frey. Emmon go get my piece of paper.
I mean, that's how I know him. He's irritating. Like she's even irritated with him.
I guess he was expecting everyone to stand around. Oh my god, a piece of paper.
Oh my god. Oh my god, Jernschner.
Oh my god, Jernschner.
Oh my god, Jernschner. Dog jacked up area, the one that you don't want to jack up. Now we know Egg is Aegon. And shit's getting real.
I think half the Targaryens were named Aegon, weren't they?
Oh shit. Oh yeah. I can't.
What was the saying? When a Targaryen is born, the gods flip a coin. If it lands one way, they're named Aegon.
Yes.
If it lands the other way, they get some other name.
Yep. That's it. That is it. Yep. That's how that goes. That is exactly it. That's perfect. And also the quote, what is it? Dragons didn't make us kings, dreams did.
Yeah, dragons didn't make us king. Or dreams didn't make us kings. You know I don't. Ships did.
Thank you. You know I can't stand that. Dreams did make you kings with dragons, damn it. But without the dream, you wouldn't exist.
Dreams didn't make us dragons. Kings did.
Yeah, perfect. We need allies. I would like to say that a lot of people are incredibly happy because the latest episode of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms got a 9.7 out of 10 on IMDb. It's gotten fantastic reviews. Everybody loves it. It's doing really damn well. Really well. And I saw an ad on Facebook. Follow us on social media, by the way.
Be sure to visit girlsnerdoutpodcast.com and follow the hosts on social media.
And it was an HBO ad. And it had it was Game of Thrones and A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. And on one side it was Daenerys on the Iron Throne, which is, I mean, who's the main character?
Of course they picked that. Of course they picked that picture.
Of course. And on the other side was A Night of the Seven Kingdoms with kind of like a silhouette of Dunk and Egg. And I showed Chris and I said, look what they're proud of. Look at this. Of course, House of the Dragon was not in the ad.
I mean, they could have included it, but they purposely chose not to.
They chose not to because it has a shit. Speaking of PR, it's got a lot of damn bad PR because everybody knows that House of the Dragon, that is not George's baby. He don't have nothing to do with that.
I think the PR for House of the Dragon stands for probably rank,
Probably really bad.
probably rancid.
Yep. So, um, the quotes are making the rounds again. People that don't understand how bad House of the Dragon is. I'm gonna go ahead. I happen to have the quote right here. Ryan Condal says it's the, what do they call it after the episode? After that, they
The
talk
behind the
about it.
scene, the
Yeah.
behind the scenes thing or whatever.
Yeah.
I
So
think
we
it's
have,
called After the Episode.
yeah, after the episode, we have Ryan Condal say, "We don't hear a lot about Valyrian steel armor, but it felt like something Aegon the Conqueror would have had from his time in old Valyria."
Like
Yeah.
Aegon the Conqueror was born like 100 years after the Doom, wasn't he? Something to that effect.
Yeah, I think
He would not have had days in old Valyria.
no, it might be 70 something years after the Doom. I think he was born. Like this guy's like a century off.
Yeah.
And then you get Sarah Hess, and her famous quote is, "There's so much in play. There are armies, there are dragons, there's castle strongholds and political maneuvering. But at the end of the day, it comes down to these two women trying to figure it out."
Which that's a good way to describe the show.
Yeah, that's what she made it.
But that's because that's how they decided to write it. Like
Yep.
it's supposed to be Aegon versus Rhaenyra.
Yeah. But when you find out Sarah Hess worked on Orange is the New Black, and it's lovers to enemies to lovers, then everything makes sense.
Which I didn't mind. Orange is the New Black. Like,
Nope. I
but
liked it.
her version of storytelling works for that. But like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't like if someone came to me and I was in charge of like casting who's going to be writing for like a fantasy show I'm working on. They're like, well, this person was on Orange is the New Black. I'm like, that doesn't fit the fantasy thing though.
Wait.
Like, have they ever done fantasy stuff on the side or
No, no,
had
no, no.
any
Wait. I
involvement
got
in
it.
that?
But I got it. What if you start a new series in this universe? You get the people that did Breaking Bad, but instead of drugs, it's sour leaf.
Well, that might work. It depends. Okay, but like my first thought's going to be like if you want to hire the writers for Breaking Bad or Orange is the New Black to work on a fantasy show,
Yeah.
my main thing is going to be is like was their part of the writing process like the character driven parts where they like
Right.
because if they know how to drive characters with like motivations and desires that are morally gray or whatever, which is what we kind of get from people in Orange is the New Black and Breaking Bad. Uh, if they could, if that's part of their writing process or what they were, known for doing, doing, focusing on that aspect of it, I'm like, well, that's exactly what Game of Thrones needs. Like, it's a character-driven story about their motivations, their desires, their likes and dislikes, their faults, what passes for their virtues, or et cetera, et cetera. Could be willing to give them a chance, but like I'd
Yeah.
have to see like their whole body of work and see how accurate like what they bring to the table, how that could translate into a fantasy because it couldn't always work. Like if like you're known for writing like movies or scripts or whatever TV shows that have like a lot of gunfighting and car chases, I don't
Fast
see
and the
that
Furious.
translate. Yeah, I don't see that translating to a fantasy. That's not saying you're not capable of writing that because many writers, like George, did a lot of sci-fi before he got into fantasy, but those are like kind of next door neighbors, so that could work. But if you're, usually writing for comedies and that's all you've ever done, and then all of a sudden you move over to like a serious show, that's not saying you can't do it. It's like, because like I'm completely against typecasting, like
Yeah.
for actors, but also for writers too. Like, but I'm gonna need some
Something.
okay, write something fantasy esque. It doesn't have to be much. Just give me something to show you could translate your talents, or you've got other talents that you haven't tapped into. And she was given this, this transfer like, well, you wrote like a drama. This is kind of a drama, and it didn't translate at all.
No.
Like the show fell off once they brought her on.
Yes.
Like
And her
I think she
and I
needs to
think
stick to
she's
what she's good at.
I agree. And I think Ryan Condal's codependent with her. I think they bounce ideas off each other and oh yes, that yo, oh, and then it's just a hot mess. It's just a mess. Just like we were
Like
talking, and Matt Smith's incredible, man. I mean, like he's literally holding that damn show up.
like he's literally mainly the main one thing holding it together.
Yeah,
Like he's the only thing worth watching in the show.
that's it. Like,
But they're making that harder because like for
yep,
season 2 they stuck him in Harrenhal the whole time, which does not happen in the books.
no,
Like I mean he is there for like a little while, but like
yeah,
nothing weird happens to him.
in a
Uh,
weirwood bed.
and he doesn't have to go through this whole process of trying to unite the Riverlands to fight for Rhaenyra, because like as soon as she sends out the declaration that the whole Riverlands, even people that didn't like her, that she openly like made fun of, that they know she's made fun of, like whatever the one of the phrase she like mocked to his face at one point in time. Even he just immediately stands up, and then they all march in lockstep to fight for her cause. And they spent all of season 2 trying to be like, oh well, it's undecided. Like Damon's gonna have to go around and convince them all to fight for her. And it's like you're just
Mm.
wasting time. Like there's other things we could be doing here.
So are you saying you don't like Team Green is the new Team Black?
They didn't even accurately explain what the teams were.
I know, but like, come on. Come
Like,
on. The
like,
name.
yeah.
I'm
Uh,
funny. I'm funny.
you're funny.
I'm funny. Next is going to be Breaking Bran.
Well, no, that's a good one. Breaking Bran.
Look, it's absolutely ridiculous. It's silly. It's silly. And no, they did not describe the teams very well, and no one knows why. And
Well, they
the
got Allison's
dresses,
right.
yeah.
Like she showed up in that green dress, and they explained,
Team
you
Green.
know what color the light the high tower flames burn when Old Town calls its banners to war. Green. Oh yeah, oh, green. And then you have Rhaenyra over there dressed in like a cream
Hmm.
white colored dress, and then
Yeah,
like all of a sudden they're like, the greens are coming for us. It's like, okay, that makes sense. I guess those are the greens. Like the blacks think they can do that. Oh, why are they the blacks? Like that part was just never explained.
people thought they were talking about skin color, for the love of God.
And that's the only thing that makes sense if you've never read the books and don't understand how it goes. If you've only watched the show, you're left having to do like put
That's
two and two
sad.
together like that, because that's probably what I would have thought. Because it's like we never really see her in black all
Damn,
that much,
that's just
and like
sad.
if she had been wearing black at that one dinner or whatever, like they could have, I don't know, like
I know.
maybe had a throwaway line where you look good in Targaryen red and black,
Yeah.
uh, or something like that. Have someone just mention that to her in passing, like while she's dancing, while they're switching partners or whatever. Have someone throw that out there. They just they don't know what they're doing.
They don't.
They don't.
And they're gonna double down in season 3. They're gonna say, "Oh, well, you said season 2 had no action," so they're just gonna overdo the action in season 3, and it should end after season 3. They should just call it.
I hope it gets canceled.
Yeah.
I
We're
hope they both get fired and blacklisted.
yep. I mean, it's garbage. Like, I already knew it was garbage, but like Night of the Seven Kingdoms is so good. It's like, oh yeah, thank you,
Like
thank you.
like when he brought up the Valyrian steel armor, that
Ugh.
seemed like something Aegon would have. Like in the books, like it's explained that while Valyrian steel swords were common in Valyria, it would have cost like a small country or a small kingdom
Yeah,
worth of gold to pay to have Valyrian steel armor made. I don't exactly know why. I'm guessing because it's got so many different intricate little metal pieces connected together, and they have to do like a whole blood magic ritual just to make
mm-hmm.
one piece of metal. And like when you do a sword, it's like one long piece of metal. You do the ritual, the dragon fire, the spells, all the stuff you need on like one piece of metal, and there you go. You have a sword. But for all the individual pieces, you probably have to do like a blood magic ritual for each individual piece. Now that would work fairly well for the chest plate because you got the one big chest plate in the
Yeah,
front, and then you do it again for the one in the back, and then you make the straps for it and to connect it to. So that's good. But if you want all the intricate pieces for your arms and your gauntlet, you need the helmet, but like the helmet has multiple pieces. If you're gonna have the one, you got to have the visor come up and down. And because it's Valyrian, they're going to automatically make it more decorative and more look like a dragon. So it's not going to be just regular plain armor. So like you have to go through all that process, and then there's the leg pieces, the boots, all the stuff. Like, and it probably costs. Like, granted, they were probably sacrificing slaves or whatnot for the blood magic rituals, and they were constantly needing more. So they were like, well, we can't really sacrifice all of them just to make like one thing. Plus, like, so the cost was high for it. And in the entirety of the series, we only see someone with a Valyrian steel suit of armor one time. And of all people, it was Euron. And we don't entirely know where he got it, but he claims he's been to Valyria.
mm,
He has a dragon horn, a magic dragon horn, and a full-on suit of Valyrian steel armor, which functions just like regular Valyrian steel. Like it's way tougher, it's harder to get through, and it's way lighter, so you can move much easier in full plate. So not only is it easier for you to move than regular armor, but it doesn't weigh as much, so you can move faster. And uh, so something that's that rare and that scarce and like something very hard to find even after the fact that Valyria fell. Like even if like say there was 10 suits of armor, 10 full suits of armor made of Valyrian steel in the whole freehold, once it collapses, what are the odds of you finding it? So like it's even more exception. It was rare before, but now it's exceptionally rare after the fact.
yep.
And to say Aegon had that just seems like something he would have. Really doesn't seem that way, does it? Does it?
From
Does
his,
it?
but it's from his days there when he
Yeah,
spent time there.
the days he never had.
Yeah,
Like,
because you can't go there. It's after the doom. Makes
because
no
like they
sense.
pointed out multiple times that the only living creature to see in existence left alive to have ever seen Valyria before the doom was Valerion the Black Dread, and he was so old by the time Aegon was born and so massive. Like, but
It's
yes,
big
sure,
man.
Aegon, yeah, he used to summer there, like for vacation.
Yeah. Even though, like, it's toxic and like you literally can't go there. Like when the doom happened, dragons fell from the sky. I mean, like you can't go there. But like his days there, he made it sound like his college experience.
Yeah, like for like summer vacation, you'd go there, like spring break in Valyria,
Wow. Just hey, tell me you don't know shit without telling me you don't know shit. But anyway.
and then in the show, like he also had like, uh, was it Jace met
Mhm.
with uh, was
Oh
it
God.
which Stark was it?
God damn it.
Well, he goes
Give
to
me a
meet with the
second.
Lord of Winter. He goes to meet the Lord of Winterfell at the Wall of all places.
Cregan.
Yeah,
Cregan.
Cregan. he goes to meet with Cregan, and
Who I was
he's
expecting like adult Cregan, but fine.
and he in the book he goes to Winterfell to meet with him, and I'm assuming it went that way in the show where because like they're traveling together to the wall, and then like he mentions a few things to him, but it seemed like one of those things for like that people do in movies where it's like they start a conversation about when they're in the middle of traveling, and then they arrive at their
Yeah.
destination and the guy finishes the sentence,
Yeah.
and then like it seems cool at the time, you don't think anything of it, but if you like step back for 2 seconds, they're like, what do you do, just stop the sentence abruptly? They sat in silence for the whole trip, and then when they got there he decided to finish what he was saying. Like it just seems kind of dumb if you think about it from like a realistic standpoint. Is that what he did? He started to tell him something, and then they rode for like hours and hours and hours to the wall, and then he finished the sentence.
Unless
And
he
then once
took
they
him on
get
his
there,
dragon. Hell, I don't know.
but like the thing is, like he says something along the lines of, "This is where Torrhen Stark bent the knee to
Mm.
Aegon the Conqueror." It's like, no, it's not. Torrhen rode to like the Trident, and when he saw Aegon's host on the other side, that's when he decided to bend the knee, and like it's like, yeah, we're not going to win this, because not only does he have his army, but he has all the armies, or what's left of the armies he conquered, fighting for him, and there's 3 dragons right there, like all 3. Uh,
Big
we're
ones.
not we're not we're not going to make it. Why would he go to the wall to bend the knee? Like it's just that's the thing. I don't think he
Dragons
was.
don't like the wall anyway. It makes no sense. Why would it's like rolling up at Winterfell and Torrhen's like, you know what? I want to have this very important conversation. I want to give you this crown, and then we're going to give you these swords to add to the other ones. But would you follow me to this cold ass wall? I want to have the conversation near this cold wall, if that's
Yes,
okay. Is that all right? Like, I know you got things to do. I am going to bend the knee, obviously, but I need you to go with me to this cold ass wall. It's a good backdrop. It'll look cooler. Can we
yeah,
do that?
it'll feel cooler too. You can
Yeah.
feel the cold just radiating off the wall every time the wind blows. It's great.
Like the only thing that House of the Dragon is like it's this drama series about like angst mewing and ships and not the kind of ships that Daenerys likes. Like people ship um Cregan with Jace. Like it's they just put scenes together so people will ship the characters, and it's just dumb. That's all it is now. That's it. And
And it's like,
and 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 the fucking mewing. Like oh god,
like how are you going to write for a show like when you don't even know the source material?
at all. At
Because
all.
that didn't seem to be to me like something he just got, like he decided to change. It seems like he probably just thought that's how it went, so he just put it in the show.
Yeah.
Just
I'm not
or at
even
least
sure if Ryan Condal knows that Winterfell is a thing. Honestly, no, you know what it is? I bet he thinks that the wall
it's like
it,
right next to Winterfell.
where Castle Black is, yeah.
Yeah, he probably thinks it's like right next to it.
Yeah. He probably doesn't know Castle Black exists. He probably thinks Winterfell's right next to the wall. No shit.
Like for the Aegon having Valyrian steel armor. Like
Mm.
he seemed to admit it and admitted like that's something he just thought would be cool for the show, so he added it into the show. But when he said from his days in old Valyria, I think he literally believed Aegon was one of the ones that came over before the Doom.
Yes.
Like I think he legitimately believed that part, and then was like, well, I mean, yeah, he doesn't have Valyrian Storm, but it seemed like that seems like something he would have from his days in Valyria, because he legitimately believed Aegon was in Valyria. But he was like, well,
Yeah.
I know I'm making this part up, but like it just seems right. You know, that just seems like something he would have, because he legitimately was in Valyria when, you know, he's remembering it completely incorrectly.
Completely. Absolutely, completely incorrectly.
Plus, the whole like Fire and Blood is not that long.
Mm-mm.
Like you could go over it. It does, like, because it's not like he like you could read like much of the conquest. Skip all the stuff that comes after if you're not going to mention it, because people talk about Aegon a lot, so it wouldn't take you a long time to read about the conquest from start to finish to get that section out of the way, and then it wouldn't take you long to read the Dance with Dragons section from start to finish. You don't have to read the whole book, especially all the stuff that comes after, because none of the stuff that comes after the Dance with Dragons is important for the story of the adapting the Dance with Dragons. But if you're going to mention history, like you need to, because like nobody really mentions Maegor or any of the stuff that comes after that. They touch on Jaehaerys a little bit, so like you could read that section and then the dance leading up to it, and then if you're going to mention Aegon a fair amount here and there, go over that section to kind of just cover all your bases. But like apparently they couldn't even be bothered to do that.
Mm-mm. No, he could have had somebody just make him an outline.
Yeah, or that's like just those sections. That's something you could knock out in a day, and if you're kind of exceptionally busy, you could knock it out in a weekend.
Talking about the guy that was patronizing George R. R. Martin and saying, yeah, I'll look at your notes at some point. Sure.
Yeah, like if you're working on a show adapting his work, like there are like millions of people that if they were in that position, they would like fall over themselves just to get whatever notes he wrote.
Yeah.
Because George wrote this, like, oh, what is it? What does it say? What does it say? What's in there? We need to know, George. We need to know. He's actually writing something. Oh my God, I can't wait to read it.
Yeah. And he listened to George at first and then said, yeah, I'll get back to you. And then he pretty much just ghosted him. He thinks he could do it better.
Apparently so.
Well, so far, no, not a bit.
I think at some point they may realize they messed up, but I think if they come to that realization yet, I don't know if they ever will, but if they have come to that realization, I think they're just going to go with the route of, well, it's too late to turn back now. Like we've changed too much stuff to get it back on course for the books. Because we've omitted this, we skipped that, we changed that. So like we've got no choice but to just move forward and try to do better. Of course, we've seen what they think is good. So like their version of try to do better will probably be making it even worse.
Yeah.
Because it seems like they get really excited about dumb ideas.
Yes. Very.
And it seemed like HBO kind of fosters that mentality to where they shield them from outside criticism. Because when George had his points, Ryan Condal probably, who knows what he told them, but afterwards they were like, okay, well, from now on, don't contact Ryan. Send all your notes and stuff to us.
Yeah. And we'll get them to him. Yeah, I think that's what happened.
But they said there was something like that to where they wanted George to contact them, and they said they would give it to Ryan.
Yeah.
Which is really weird. It's like I could just send it to him directly. Like why the middleman?
That was keeping them, because George was pissed. That's what that was. That was keeping the two of them apart because George was mad. Wanted to chew him out, I'm sure. So that was them trying to keep the peace when they should have been kicking Ryan Condal's ass. But I mean,
you would think they'd learned a lesson after what happened with Dan and Dave, but like they were like I think it was one of those situations where like, look, we need to make sure this is taken seriously and is good. And then they had season 1, and that was long enough. And once it was successful, that was long enough for them to be like, all right, we need to be lazy again, not pay attention.
Right. Then you get Team Green as the new Team Black, and then it's just a story about these two women trying to figure things out and make out or whatever the hell they're gonna do. I don't know, but I got what I wanted. A Night of the Seven Kingdoms is good. I'm happy with it. It looks good. It's getting really good reviews. 9.7 out of 10. It's great. I love it.
The only complaints I've heard from people about A Night of the Seven Kingdoms is the episodes aren't long enough and there's not enough.
Yep, they want more. And I damn sure would much rather be sitting here right now knowing people want more of this really great series than where we were sitting going, my God, we're dead. We will never get anything new. This is not anything that I don't even know what this is. This is a joke. This is disgusting. So,
like, I hope eventually they look back and they're like, this is Game of Thrones when George was involved. This is Game of Thrones when he wasn't. This is House the Dragon when George was involved. This is House the Dragon when he wasn't.
this is Blood Moon.
Duncan. This is Duncan Egg. George was involved. Okay, so now we're gonna do the Conquest.
Maybe he
Should George be involved?
Yes.
Like, how many times do you have to get burned before you learn your lesson?
Apparently
Like,
twice.
I would assume season 8 would have been more than enough for them.
No.
Plus, how hard is it to where it's like, hey, we're all the ones in charge of, this company. We're making this show. It's based on these books. Hey, maybe we should read them. That way we're a little bit more qualified to like overlook some of the decisions being made. Because like it seemed like none of them had any clue what the Ice and Fire series was about. They were just trusting that other people knew what was going on, and they had like, it's like they're like, well, it's out of our hands. Like we don't know how to do any of that. It's like do you not have someone in charge that like approves scripts? Are they not familiar with the source material? Like how is that not a prerequisite?
I can't explain it, man. It's weird as hell.
Because it's not like they're churning out like 500 shows a year where and most of them are based on books, and like they don't have the manpower to have everyone read every book. They're not churning out that many different shows. No. And not every show is based on a book. True. So like wouldn't be that difficult for them to be like, hey, as homework in your spare time, get the audio book and kind of, familiarize yourself with this, or take this home. Like, this is going to be something, because like they can easily, do that. Like that's part of this job. Like we're working on this show. Here's the book it was based on. We need people that kind of know what the hell's going on, so that we could like better overlook the scripts and approve certain things or not approve certain things. Like you'd think they would take that approach, actually take it seriously, consider you're spending all that money and like you want a return on your investment.
I think it's very glaringly obvious that A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms is what people want. It's everywhere. So now it's in their hands. They can either do what's right or just let it keep going off the rails. So we'll have to see, and we'll cover it. And either way, it'll be amusing. Until next time, we're going to say bye, Chris.
Bye, Chris.
Thanks for listening to Girls Nerd Out Podcast. Now no one can say you know nothing.